In the Invincible universe, an extremely strong alien race known as Viltrumites exists. The Viltrum Empire, there's a whole bunch of powerful beings, survival of the fittest type of culture. They go out and rule planets, blah, blah, blah. The strength and speed of each Viltrumite vary from Viltrumite to Viltrumite, but a character of Viltrumite I want to go over today, Anissa, who is a higher end Viltrumite, who, when it comes to raw strength, you have no choice but to respect her, no matter how much you hate her guts. She's literally physically strong enough to hang with the heaviest hitters of his universe, Invincible himself, and other top tiers like Omni-Man take blows from these type of top tier Viltrumites. Oh man, you're going to respect her the longer this video goes. I guess you can look at her like a product of her environment. See, the way the Viltrumite race works, they stay on a planet that has more gravity than Earth, so their environment's already harsher. It has 1.25 of Earth's gravity. Their civilization has advanced technology. Anissa is one of these beings. She's an inhabitant of Viltrum. They are advanced humanoid race of immense physical power. They age very slowly, Anissa included, speed, strength, and vulnerability. She can live thousands of years, just like other Viltrumites. As you notice here, you can see she has the strength to lift a whole bunch of humans on one boat. This is laughable ease. The only fair way to understand her might is to compare her to like the top tiers of the verse, Invincible included, Omni-Man, blah, blah, blah. It's only fair because she's so strong in this universe. When it comes to her muscle, like, you know, Invincible has improved throughout this series, right? Like, there's legit points in Mark's career. She's just straight up outright stronger. It's even stated stronger and faster. And even after these events like this, where Mark is getting overpowered, Invincible is getting overpowered, she admits that Mark has gotten stronger, but still ain't strong enough. Like, so it lets you know she's ridiculously strong. Even when Mark improves, it's not a guarantee him being above her in later arcs. This is crucial because even Mark in his earlier days, you can get an idea of the bare minimum of how strong she would have to be off default. When Mark was getting his strength tested, it's pretty much proven that Mark can lift weights to get stronger. He can lift over 400 tons. Based on this large mechanism here, and based on occasions like this, Mark literally is having a hard time moving and overpowering her muscle. Proving off rip, she has to be able to lift at least 400 plus tons, just like Mark. Like, just another example of what Mark can lift. Gigantic pillars like this, for example, that has to weigh over thousands of tons. And like, she's literally strong enough to physically restrain this same being. Proof she can lift or support thousands of tons is this occasion with this big old monster and this literal cruise ship that looks very similar to cruise ships we're used to seeing in real life. You can't tell me that cruise ship in this comic panel don't look similar. So they should have similar weights, blah, blah, blah. These kind of cruise ships can weigh thousands, tens of thousands, even up to 50,000 of tons. And they apparently did this off screen. Could you beach the ship next to the island over there like Anissa? When characters can lift this kind of stuff, like this kind of can give you a bare minimum on how hard they can hit. If she can physically move massive cruise ships like this, that can weigh 50,000 or hundreds of thousands of tons, it's only right to say her punches will feel like the weight of 100,000 tons falling on your face, you know, or somewhere in that league. The weight of her hits could probably cause a localized earthquake in a certain vicinity. Occasions like this, you could argue this is her making a localized earthquake. People in the near vicinity can feel that she slammed and made a big crater like this on top of Mark. I mean, it's not like she isn't used to hitting beings that have ridiculous durability like other Viltrumites, for example. Like in the Viltrumite War, we see her fighting other Viltrumite-type characters and overpower them physically. You can technically say she can just do this without her speed, but we've seen her literally fly through buildings, implies she could just easily level buildings with the weight of her hits. I mean, there was these building-sized creatures she can easily one-shot just by simply flying through it like a legit bullet. Despite these creatures' massive size, I mean, there's this creature in this example that's pretty big too. She can fly through this big thing, guts spilling out and everything with her raw speed, and one-shotting huge creatures, even admits she's the one that did it. Yeah, she can fly, just like other Viltrumites, fly and simply ram into these ships like missiles, Anissa included. You can almost look at the Viltrumites like fleet busters. To get a true understanding of Anissa's might, you got to start looking at statements like this on how Thrag talks about how 37, some of them injured Viltrumites could tear this planet apart. This is probably just a blanket statement, but stuff like this would imply like each Viltrumite are like their own nuclear bombs, basically, on how hard they can hit. Definitely makes a lot of sense. The weight of her strikes, like in these scans, it doesn't look like she drew any blood, but in this scan, it kind of looked like she did. What do you think happened? Do you think she can draw blood from Alan the Alien, especially at this new powered up state? I mean, how do you interpret scans like this? This is how she can do lower tier Viltrumite tier characters, like literally split them with the swipe of her hand. Adam Eve is one of those few beings that are considered to be Viltrumite-esque centric, and she withstood blast from these type of beings. But the most obvious way to understand her might is like you see her, she's gotten in many entanglements with Omni-Man. We've seen her take a hit from beings like Omni-Man. Too many occasions of her punching Mark, the main character and hitting him so hard to affect him. Same with the weight of her hits hitting Omni-Man and making blood come out. Even so far as off-screen type fights. Like, we talking about headlocks and everything. I'm not saying she's up there with Thrag, but Mark during this time period could actually make Thrag get like a little blood. Like, it's pretty obvious that she's high end, getting hit by Omni-Man, Invincible, hitting Invincible, them hurting each other. I'm bringing this up for a reason because all the beings we've seen her actually punch affect harm. They can harm her, vice versa. These three beings, for example, we've seen her encounters with all of these beings. These three working together along with a laser help literally destroy an entire planet. Yeah. And you see this guy right here? And this has been hit by the same being. And what about this guy? We've seen her get punched and punch and draw blood from the same being that helped destroy a planet. And we're not even going to get on how many times we've seen her getting in fist fights with Mark, the main character, and clearly affect him. I mean, there's plenty of occasions of her muscle, like you see how this being can't get out. And then we've seen her draw blood from Mark. Mark is pretty pissed. He hits her. She retaliates. And then at certain points, Mark literally couldn't stop her and literally got violated. He did not want this to happen, but this shows her level of power that he could not stop it. So when you see Mark and Omni-Man and them working together to do stuff like this to entire planets, let's just say that if Anissa was in the same situation, she would be able to easily help destroy the planet too. Just like how these characters did. She's literally fought everybody in this panel, gave them a tough fight. So if we assume planet Viltrum is similar size to Earth, even if you don't want to assume she can destroy this planet by herself, let's just get an idea of how strong she would have to be. Smaller planetoids like the moon, technically the weight of her hits should have no problem moving such planetoids like this. Quaking it. If she used her speed to fly through a planetoid like the moon, I don't see no reason why she wouldn't be able to break or blow up a planet like the moon, just by herself. Even if you don't want to say she can blow up a planet like Earth. But let's look into this planet Viltrum thing a little deeper. If we really assume it's the same size of Earth, but has a little bit more gravity than Earth, that would imply it's a harder planet to shatter than Earth. Confirmed here that Viltrum has 1.25 Earth's gravity. A while ago, Death Battle calculated the amount of energy, bare minimum energy needed to destroy a planet like Earth. They came up with 53 quadrillion. If we use these numbers to get an idea of how hard Anissa would have to be able to hit, if we assume planet Viltrum is the same size and it's a little bit harder thanks to the gravity to shatter than a planet like Earth, this number 53 quadrillion would go up to 66 quadrillion megatons of force bare minimum power needed to blow up a planet like Viltrum if we assume this stuff is accurate. And just like Invincible, Omni-Man, and etc., if we assume that Anissa can do similar stuff to what they can because she's in that ballpark of power, 1/4 the power needed to destroy a planet like Viltrum, that would mean this quadrillion megatons you see right here, she would be able to produce 1/4 of this, which would be a bare minimum of 16 quadrillion megatons of raw power. This is assuming Viltrum really is 1.25 times harder to bust than a planet like Earth based on its gravity, because you know gravity makes the planet more durable. The gravity is its binding energy to keep the planet together. So more gravity on a planet the same size of Earth should be 1.25 times harder to shatter, if that makes sense. That's basically saying Anissa being 1/4 the power needed to blow up a planet like Viltrum. That's like saying she can hit with the force of a nuclear bomb times 300 trillion. She's trillions of times past the largest nuclear bomb level. What do you think though? Do you think she could destroy the planet like Earth by herself without no outside help, and she's not just 1/4 power to destroy the Earth? What do you think? I mean, you know she got to be strong. I mean, because she's not necessarily on Thrag's level in a 1v1, because Thrag's like the peak of the peak Viltrumites, but there's implications as a group. They could kind of do some harm to Thrag, like implications here, like on how she's punching. They're apparently kind of sort of affecting Thrag, one could say, as a group. But he said, let him live, implying they could threaten his life, like Anissa included, like working together, of course. This can give you some perspective on how strong she is. Even though nobody's up there with Thrag for a 1v1, it's implied that they can threaten him as a group. It's scary to think about. She can just use her flight speed, striking power, and do major catastrophic damage to a continent on the planet. That's hard to imagine somebody having this kind of power, ain't it? I mean, beings can ram into planets with this kind of force and not die from ramming in a planet this much, but yet her punches can do this to the same top tier Viltrumites. Just like other Viltrumites, there's implications. If she really had to, she could fly faster than the speed of light. Viltrumites can actually cover distance in space. You guys remember how Omni-Man was able to fly to another solar system. She seems to have decent combat speed, just like how like Invincible type characters can fly fast. She can react to this kind of blitzes and such. So obviously she should be way, way, way past the speed of light. Just like Omni-Man, same powers and abilities, same concept. She's a high-end Viltrumite, you get it. And you'll be surprised on how much pain tolerance she has. Even when it's a big gash in her chest, she's still able to counter after that pain. What do you guys think about her? Do you think she could fly into you at faster than light speeds to increase her striking force even more? Or do you think that's reaching? What do you think? Do you still hate her guts because of what she did to Mark? I want to hear what you guys think. And she believes you should hit that like button and appreciate the donations, everybody. Anissa's crazy. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.